A champion has to make significant sacrifices. A champion has to be disciplined. A champion has to be hungry. You got to dedicate everything about you.
Train like a champion.
Champions understand that discipline is always, always, always the key.
There is no winning in excuses. There are no victories and giving up. You got to understand within you is greatness. Within you is something that is waiting. You may have to accept a few losses. You're gonna have to sometime understand that you got to lose so that you can win it all. A champion, a worker, a believer, someone that knows what it means to push, someone that understands that they got to do more than less.
Well, we've added one more Be a Champion to the Duckhook champions this season, and that was from Houghton, Series 1 that just happened past Sunday. What a great day it was. The course was tough, and it really played into the better golfers' favor in the end of the day, the one who made the least mistakes. And we know who he is, and he's obviously with us, so it was one less person to get on. But that's not all. Evening, everybody. Thanks for watching. It's another Wednesday. It's another Duckhook show. As I mentioned, House just happened. But we have Blue Valley. The return of the Thursday series is tomorrow. Bright and early, starting just after 7 o'clock. Might be cold, it might not be too bad, but yes, we will chat about Blue Valley and see what it's all about, do a bit of a preview. But as I had stipulated in our correspondence, we have a very special guest on today, and that is Mark Fairbank. And why is Mark Fairbank on today? Well, let's just say hello to him first. Mark at the bottom of our screen. Hello, welcome, and thank you for joining us on the Duckhook Show.
Hey, how's it, guys? Thank you very much for having me.
So, my epiphany was that I don't think many of us realize what actually is mental golf coaching or the mental side of golf. I think all of us have a routine, but it goes deeper than that and how to deal with the challenges and stress. And that's why Mark is here. Mark, the head of, let me just cancel. Had a good note there. The head of academics, head of performance and mental golf coach at the Boulderstone Sports Institute. So, you're a PE boy, you followed your passion for golf, you came all the way to Johannesburg. Paint us a picture of how you got here and how you got into this profession.
Yeah, so I actually myself, I love sports. I grew up playing every sport possible. I was a good cricketer. I was trying to pursue a career in cricket, and then I went to UKZN in Pietermaritzburg and studied psychology while I was trying to pursue cricket. Cricket didn't work for me, and then I got introduced to this, maybe good or bad, into the game of golf. And I was working at the time and decided that I was going to give up working and try and make it as a player. So I spent about 5 years trying to make it as a player. I went to Q school. Unfortunately, didn't get my card. But I had studied psychology, and there was the owner of Boulderstone Sports Institute, Michael Boulderstone, in the beginning of 2015. He offered me a job at his academy up here in Joburg as the head of academics and mental coach. I initially turned it down, still wanting to chase the dream. But then he asked me again a few months later, and the golf wasn't working out. So then he took me on board. So then I got to combine my experience as a player plus my academic qualifications, and now loving it.
Loving it. And yes, I'm sure that everybody's got a question for you coming up. Donnie, how's it? There's the champion, Houghton champion. Can everybody give him a round of applause? Hit that like button on the chat.
Like a Donnie!
Well done. Not easy, playing off the scratch and winning. 36 points just shows how difficult the course was. If 88 guys could not break par, I definitely did not come close to doing it. Fricky, back in the top 10.
Yeah, lucky to be there. I thought I gave Donnie a bit of a run for his money, and then that second last hole again blacked out, same as a few years ago when I chased Donnie and also blacked that one out. So deja vu. I'm going to speak to the mental coach here, just to ask, how do I get over that?
Okay. Well, I haven't forgotten you guys in the chat line. Everybody's here. Hello, Mana. Carl Rawlins is with us. Hello. Kun Pretorius, here we go. Yes, thank you for watching. Much appreciated. Wayne, how's it? How's it, Wayne? Looking forward to tomorrow, I'm sure. Peter Zach, evening gents. Hello, Peter. Always nice to have you. Bobby, Dars May Baldy. I assume that's me.
Booby van his bay.
Booby, well done, Booby. And Jacques, how's it, Ducks? Morne, is it Thursday yet? And the list goes on and on and on and on. But get your questions ready. And Peter Prince, the last one, has just commented, hello, boys. All right, so before we get on to our stuff, we're going to spend the next 10 minutes with Mark. Mark, my first question is give us a breakdown exactly the definition of being a mental coach and what you are in teaching in theory. Yes, there's many categories, but how can you break it down?
I think maybe not quite. There's quite a lot to just define. But in terms of what we're really focusing on is essentially you're out there and you know once you've teed off, the skills, the technical skills and the physical skills that you've got, what you've got once you've teed off is what you got. For the next sort of 4.5 to 5 hours or 18 holes, it's all about managing yourself and managing your game and being able to react to what happens out there on the golf course. And I think that's something that a majority of players don't do very well, because, the golf is an incredible game and it's so close to life. So the things that happen out there, I mean, you guys have played a lot and you play every week or every month and it will be every single round will be different and you have to deal with things that you've never dealt with before. So, we're really trying to equip players with the mental skills that they need to actually handle whatever goes on out there, and that can be from emotional control. If you're hitting your ball in the trees or missing short putts, to be able to bounce back from those and stay calm and manage yourself so that the next few holes you're still performing at your best. It's about routines. Routine is much more important than anything else. So being able to stay disciplined with your routines before your shots, after your shots, even before your rounds. Really helping guys deal with, obviously you're trying to perform shots once off. It's not like a driving range where you've got the opportunity to hit one crap shot and then hit another 2 or 3 after that. So we're really trying to get guys into a headspace where they're able to perform under pressure and pull the shots off that they know they can under pressure.
Right. A big thing is the power of positive energy. Already, yeah. How much does that play into your mental approach?
So golf is 99% of golf is actually just dealing with bad stuff. There was a really cool podcast I was listening to a while ago about Adam Scott, and Adam Scott has got one of the most beautiful swings on tour. And the guy interviewing him asked him how often he plays his best golf, and he said maybe 1 or maybe 2 weeks in a whole year, and that's Adam Scott with that golf swing. So that means that every other week of the year and every time he's playing, he doesn't have his best stuff. So if you're getting down on yourself in this game, you've got absolutely no chance because most of this game is unfortunately going to be bad stuff. And the guys that compete and the guys that do really well in this game, ultimately it comes down to how well they can actually handle all of the bad luck, bad bounces, bad goal shots, misses that you get during a round. So yeah, if you're not seeing the positives and you're not focusing on the positives, it will beat you up, unfortunately, because every single round of golf is going to have bad stuff in it. That's and that's what makes the great competitors great, because they can handle it better than anyone else.
Donnie, have you got a question for Mark?
Yeah, of course, yes. Mark, the main thing is, if you look at the pros on TV, it's like they'll hit a bad shot, and they just calmly walk down and they just go through their routine, hit the next shot. Now, myself, I used to be like this, which I'm going to ask now, is like a few years ago, where if I hit a bad shot, it's almost like 5 shots later that's still lingering in my mind. I'm still upset about a bad shot that I hit. And I think a lot of amateur guys are doing that because they focus on the bad that happened in the past instead of the next shot. But, how can those guys get over it quickly? What advice can you give them as well to say, listen, it's like, what can you think about after a bad shot? Like, I know you said positives and all the good things, but, I think there's some guys that really struggle with that.
Yeah, that actually, it's so acceptance is really important in golf, and that's obviously once if you've missed a short putt or if you hit a bad shot, to move on really quickly. But it actually starts long before that, and it starts with expectations, and especially with amateurs. Amateurs are playing so little golf. They might be working full time, so they're not getting to the driving range a lot. They're not getting on course a lot, so they really aren't training that much. Then they come out there and they compete on a Saturday, and they've maybe seen on TV that in the highlights reel the guys were hitting it to a foot and they were making putts from across the green or whatever it is, and suddenly they're teeing it up with these expectations that they're going to hit the ball perfectly and they're going to hit every shot perfectly, and it's just not going to happen. So the majority of the time that we really get frustrated and we struggle to get over bad shots is because we kind of got this preconceived idea that we shouldn't be hitting any bad shots, or that we should be doing better, or we should be playing better. And the reality is that and it's no disrespect to anyone, but how much effort you put in and where you are, and just the difficulty of the game. I mean, the game is such a difficult game. That our expectations end up so far away from reality that when things, it's not that they go wrong, they actually just kind of go how they're probably going to go, then we're not actually ready to deal with it because our expectations are so far away from that. I'll ask you a question. So on tour, from 100 meters, how close do you think the best player, the number one player on tour, is hitting into the hole on average?
3 meters, 3 foot.
Yeah, I would almost say like 8 to 10 foot most probably.
So nearly 30 foot.
No, they can't. Seriously?
Yep. You can go. So if you go into the PGA Tour stats and you have a look, it's something that I think every player should do is get out onto the PGAtour.com, have a look at their stat stuff, and actually look at their proximity to the hole with different clubs. And there's a number of reasons for that, and one will be obviously their pins are really tucked and they're sort of playing money ball golf where they want to bank their pars a lot and they're not going to try and short side themselves. But at the end of the day, the game is just so difficult. I mean, if you've got even if it's just a wedge in your hand, you got to guess the distance. You got to account for wind. Is there wind? How much wind is there? How much is it going to affect my ball? You guys have just played Houghton. There's a lot of uphill and downhill shots at Houghton. How much is it downhill? Is it 3 meters downhill, 4 meters downhill? What is the ball do when it lands? And then once you calculated all of those things, and that's an educated guess, even if you're the best in the world, now you've got to make a perfect golf swing. Mm-hmm. So now is your swing path perfect? Is your club face perfect? Was your club head speed the same as every other time?
The practice swing is always the best one.
Yeah, exactly. Now you're hoping that you've got all of those things right, and then have you hit the middle of the golf ball? So there's just so many things that you actually have to get absolutely perfect just to hit the ball how you want, that the chances are actually just not in your favor. And I think a lot of the tour players and the best players in the world, they really understand that and they embrace it, and you'll very rarely see them going at pins just because of those exact reasons. They really control those uncontrollable factors really well, whereas a lot of amateur golfers, the odds are completely against them pulling off a shot because they practice even less than the tour players, but they're thinking that they can hit their 5-iron to a foot from 180 meters, and I mean the odds are just not against them. So I think it's really important that as I say, like the acceptance of it is good, but for me, setting the groundwork beforehand of really understanding where the game is and having the right expectations of the game can help a lot to make the round much more enjoyable and actually know what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing in a shot. Hitting a wedge to 20 foot is actually world class.
Yeah. Now that you mention it, I have a question. This is from Mornay O'Kelly. He says, when you play with someone and they lose their focus control, what can you say or do to get them back in it? I just play my game, but want to help my son, though. Yeah,
so just telling someone, no, focus. I mean, what does that actually mean? Mm-hmm. What does that person do? Now, and if it's a father and a son, and the father says, well, my boy, focus. He doesn't really know. So kind of got to understand what you want him to focus on. Does that mean you want him to make good decisions? You want him to go through the detail of each shot? Must he check the distances properly? Must He choose the right clubs? Must he pick the right targets? Should he be going through a routine properly before each shot? So it's when you're trying to get someone to sort of get their head back into, because essentially you want to get someone back into the moment, correct? You know, you might have played a few holes really badly, or sometimes even you're playing really well. I mean, it's whether you've started badly or well, our head tends to start wandering all over the place. So you kind of want to bring it back to just that shot, which means you need to sort of get back to the present and focus more on the detail on that shot. And that will be, you know, the easiest way to be present is to look and say, okay, what is the exact yardage? Where is the pin? Where do I want to hit it? What's the wind doing? And immediately you focus on those things, or you start thinking about those things, you're immediately back focused on your shot. So it's more important, instead of just telling them to focus, to actually give them specific things to be doing.
Mark, sorry, Maz, just to ask a question on top of that. Won't you say by just saying to like Mornay's son when he's playing a few holes bad, to focus just on his, you know, his pre-routine, you know, that would also, I think, help him get back into that zone. You know, would that be a good thing to say to the people?
Correct, because you essentially you want to focus on something that you can control. You know, because often players they're playing badly, so then their head is all focused on their score, or they're playing really well, and now you're focused on your score. So either way, and at the end of the day, you can't really control score. So absolutely, routine is something that whether you're playing badly or you're playing well, you can do it. You know, you can pick the right target, you can pick the right club. And those are things that regardless of whether you're feeling sick or you're playing badly, you're playing well, or the weather's bad, you can do those things guaranteed.
Where are you, Frikkie?
Yeah, I normally give Donnie a massage and then he relaxes. So yeah.
I have another question. Now, Mark, we have live scoring every hole. Scoreboard pressure, I can tell you, is a real thing. We have seen so many guys doing well and getting into position, and then once they realize, oh, I got a shot lead or so, then they tend to come undone. Our latest chokers of the club nominee or inductee is Grant Nell. I need advice not to choke at the end of a good round, to keep focus under pressure. But I want to. This is more part of the scoreboard pressure. That pressure. How do you tone it down? How do you not overthink it?
So yeah, it's you know, I've heard I don't know whether you guys have heard before. Some people tell you to not think of score, but how do you do that? You know, if you look at the Masters, I mean, those guys, they've got someone walking behind them holding a board that's got their score on it. Then they've got about next to each tee box, behind each green, they've got these massive electronic scoreboards that have got their score on it. Plus, they're filling out their score every single hole. They've got people around. I mean, and no one has ever won a tournament. Have you ever seen someone winning a tournament on TV where the last putt went in the hole and then they were surprised they've won? No, they always know they've won. So we always know our score. So it's, you know, and sometimes people spend energy trying to forget score. But what's important to understand is that you can't control score. And that's the mistake that we make, especially when you're playing well. We get through to our last sort of, you know, if we're going to shoot a personal best score or win a tournament and we've got 3 or 4 holes to go, we tend to start really trying to control our score. And what happens then is that we start actually making sort of negative and defensive and like nursing the ball, controlled golf swings, because you're trying to control the ball in play, because you're trying to control our score, and inevitably that goes backwards. So we really need to work hard through that closing stretch of a good round to talk to ourselves and say, hang on, I actually can't control my score here. Well, whatever I'm doing, I don't know what score I'm going to finish on. I actually don't know. And that's a good thing. You know, fine, I know what my score is, but I need to understand that I actually can't control it. So I need to get myself back and say, okay, fine, I'm nervous, I'm under pressure here, but what are the things that I can actually control? What can I do? Okay, I can make good decisions for sure. I can pick the right clubs for sure. I can pick clever targets for sure. You know, when I'm putting, that's normally where we'll feel the pressure the most over the closing holes is around the greens. You know, but can I get the line? Definitely. Can I try and get the pace? Absolutely. Can I make the putt? I don't know. And the mistakes we make over those closing holes is really trying to actually just control the outcome of the day. And normally what happens in the first few holes is we don't know what score we're on, so we're not really trying to control our score. We're actually just playing. And then suddenly we get a score in our head and it's like, oh, hang on, this is actually quite good. And then we try and control that score, and then we start controlling our golf swing, and then the whole thing kind of goes a little bit pear-shaped.
We could talk about this forever. I'm just looking. 20 minutes has gone by. And
yeah, I'm happy. I don't know how much time you guys have got.
We might have to get you on again. But there is a very important question. I think probably the most important question. And thank you for everything. Wayne, you've given me so many questions, but I don't even know which one to choose. Why can two players, right, individually perform so well when they're not near each other, but when they're in a team, they suck? Go.
That's not nice.
Sorry.
These two.
Those two on top of you. The Mighty Ducks, the last 2 years have not been so mighty.
Yeah, probably just getting in each other's way would be my best guess, eh, boys?
Yeah.
I think it's Gremlins and Fricky's head.
Yeah, maybe.
Dovetailing not a thing with you two. All right, just to wrap it up, Mark, before we move on to the normal stuff. Can guys come see you if they would like to? What is the details?
Yeah, absolutely. You can go to bsrsports.com. If you go onto their website, you can find me there or find my details there. I can give my phone number if you want. It's 072. Do you want me to?
What I'll do is, if they want your number, then I will just contact me and I will.
Perfect, 100%. Yeah, I think it's easier that way. Easier that way, just to get hold of Maz then, and he can put you in touch with me. You can contact me directly, and we can set something up.
All right.
Mark, the one question, last question I've got: do you do hypnosis?
Is that what you need?
Especially on my putting, I do.
Can make a plan. It might not be hypnosis, but
Donnie just needs one putter, not the 5 that he's currently using.
Thanks so much, Mark. I really appreciate it. You may have a glorious evening, and thank you very much again.
Yeah, pleasure, 100%. Thank you for having me.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers, Mark.
We are moving on. Right, boys, let's go. I'm glad. Thank you for the questions. I hope that helped with some insight, and it's something to think about. Dive into why and what you can control when you're on a golf course. If I have to look at me, for example, I seem to play the best when I'm not too worried about actually playing. When I just go there and just hit one shot at a time, I do much better. But the moment I'm trying to be good, I ain't so good.
Yeah.
Who am I? I was born in 1982. I have one major championship. My highest world ranking has been 4. I live in Ocala, Florida. I have 14 professional wins. Now, I put this up earlier, and Donnie knew it immediately, so it doesn't stand much hope. So if you know who that is, comment, and then we will get back to it. So, Houghton happened, everybody. This happened on Sunday. Boys, let's do a quick synopsis. Yes, the greens were tough.
Yeah.
Secondly, well done. I would say that we've managed to finish. Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
It was a bit in the dark, but we managed to finish. We've been in much worse situations. So, congratulations. It shows you we can do it. That's the main thing.
Correct.
And a good vibe. Flicky, what did you think?
Look, I enjoyed it a lot. It was tough conditions for me. Obviously there was a bit of wind. And the greens, I'm not probably the best putter when it comes to fast greens. But, it was a great day. And, thoroughly enjoyed it.
Good.
There was no slow play. I can't remember that there was any, but, yeah, it was lekker. And with this, it's nice to see Frikkie and Donnie on the same page. Just had to put it there.
There you go. Well, number 1, Donnie back in the winner's circle. I don't think he misses a year. Last year was Centurion, where he took the victory, also on a very low score. But even par, as you see, the top 3, and Donnie taking on the count back on 36 points. We'll have a look at his scorecard shortly. Jean van der Westhuizen coming in off his 20, coming in 36. Sean Lawless, 36 points. Jaco van Staden, good round from him, +1. Okkie Brits, another good round. Richard also, you can throw him in the mix there with your top 2 because he's been in the top 10 a few. Wayne Jensen, trying to win the series. A great finish, so that's going to help him a lot. Ashley Herman, there you are, and Bobby van der Spey. The whole list and the results are on the website. So if you want to see them, then that's where you go. Right, I spoke to the top 10 or top 5, some of them that were still around. This is what they had to say. Richard, tied 4th, second round, and you're up in the top 5. We're leading for quite a while. How did it go?
Yeah, another good round. It's been good to get onto the course and to play some good golf. I think coming off Royal Joburg, the confidence was there. Also had my singles match play, which I after the first hole I knew I'd have to play some good golf to win that one. So yeah, I think it was good to be out there.
Part of the best parts of your game today?
Yeah, probably off the tee for the first time. I was getting off the tee quite nicely, and the iron play again. I've really got used to those new irons. So Fricky, I really thank you. But those irons are working, and I'm getting the distances right, and I'm getting proximity to the holes a lot better.
A lot of ranking points racked up in the last 2 weeks. You must be happy with that.
Yeah, I think again it's a slow start to the year, and now starting to find a little bit of form. So yeah, let's see where it goes. Lots of golf still to be played.
Tied for the lead at the moment. Not going to take it because of the count back. Good run of golf. Happy?
Yeah, not too bad. Thanks, Baz. Putter didn't really behave today, but the rest of the game was okay after a couple of weeks of rest, so can't complain.
What was the best part of your game? Favorite shot, hole?
I was headed quite nicely off the tee, hit a couple of long ones, and yeah, no complaints.
Bit bitter if you lose out on a count back finishing first, but it is the way it is.
Yeah, I think the last time I had a chat to you, I shot 41 points at Royal Eastern, came third, so you know what's new.
Well done. John, 36 points, tied for the lead. Unfortunately, with the count back, you're just going to miss out, but are you happy?
Where I was last week in terms of golf, I'll take it any day. It was a difficult course, especially this last hole, but I'll take it. 36 points, but I think Donnie shouldn't have won so far.
Best part of your game today? What?
Approach shots from 120 in. Had about 3 of them that stopped to about 2 to 3 meters from the flag. So that's the best part. And then putting came in the second 9. Driver was a bit difficult, but yeah, you have to make up somehow. So.
Donnie Houghton champion, back with a trophy in your hand. Can you believe tie for even par, and you've taken it on the count back? Congratulations.
No, thanks, Maz. Yeah, no, it's definitely special. I love Houghton. Houghton always brings the best out of my game, and finishing second last year to Robbie, and yeah, glad to take the victory this year.
What was it? Birdie on each side, bogey on each side to finish 72?
Yeah, it was basically 2 birdies, 1 on each side, and then 1 bogey. Made 1 stupid 3-putt, otherwise it would have been a -1. But no, the game was good. I had a few chances. Gave the greens a little bit too much respect, so left a few short. But yeah, no, it's like I love the greens, I love the course. So yeah.
And I assume the rest will be said on the show.
Of course, yes.
To be continued indeed. The rest is being on the show. Donnie, you want to go to your scorecard first, or should we look at some comments?
Let's look at some comments.
Alan Lowe says, Donnie played well and was thinking a bit more than usual. Okay, I don't know.
Well, Max, while you go through the comments, Donnie can go through his scorecard without having the scorecard, so we can go through it.
No, well, we don't have all day. We're just 20 minutes with a mental coach. My word. And do all the good work here. Bobby, I wanted to put this in. Once you realize that you still have like 1,000+ games in your life left, you will be okay and just relax and play on. I like that. I think that could be one of those motivational quotey thingies. Wayne Jensen says, course was great, but those pin positions, wow, challenging. Yes, I agree. I actually spoke to the ops guy afterwards. I saw him the next day, and I said, dude, what's up with the pin positions? And he says, yeah, well, we wanted to make it challenging. Well, you succeeded in making it challenging.
Definitely.
Thank you very much. Donnie, go.
Yeah, so I'm just going to keep it nice and short. You know, it's, 1 birdie on each side, 1 drop on each side. You know, not everything was proper golf. You know, a couple of the pars that I made was hitting it a little bit left and right into the bushes, and just getting out, making some good up and downs for pars. But you know, relatively, I actually had a really nice game. You know, everything was sort of flowing. Like I said in the interview as well, I left a few chances out there, and the one thing I would say that sort of kept me sort of there was that I wasn't actually worried about the last scoring the whole round. I literally only took my phone out to look at the live scoring on the last hole. And so yeah.
Look at from hole 5 to 15. So that's 10 holes. You are 1 under. So that is a very, very good stretch of golf holes there.
Yeah.
You were saying today when we were together, you were saying that you feel a low round is coming. So what is your definition of low round?
66.
66.
There we go.
Boys, 66 can only be done in my dreams. Here we go. Houghton pins. Flicky, you want to take us through some pins?
Yeah, so the par 3 7th, Mr. Glenn Williams got that one. Par 3 9th, Mr. Grant Choker Nell. Oh, sorry, Grant. Sorry, man. The par 4th, par 4th, 11th hole, Rota Menkies. I think that was pretty good. And then par 3 16th, Matthew Page got that closest one.
Well done, Matthew. Second round that he's played at Duckhook. I actually met him at Houghton. And young lad, so I'm sure he's going to enjoy it all. We'll have a look at the groups now. Here we go.
So let me run with that as well. So Group A on a +6, Mr. Shandon Schaefer. Almost killed the guy there. I just had to put it out there. He beat Sarlstein, Stefan Hernit and Simon Meyer. Group B, we've got +5. Yes, like it's lekker scores here. Mr. Hansi Hamman. Congrats on the car dude. And Boet Hamman, Pierre Hamman and Billy Hall. You beat them. Group C, we've got Mr. Boobie van der Spy. He beat Gerard Snyman, Martin Tout and Werdet Laborski.
Well done, guys.
Well done, guys.
Get yourself a credit fine for all your hard
work. Nice to win on a +6 and a +5, eh?
Shows you. I think the average was like 20, average points was like 27 or so, which is normally lower, 27, 28. Head-to-heads. The red team is now in front because the red team had a great day and all the players that played well was on the left-hand side of your screen. Well, most of them. Peter Zakaria, the captain, at least won his game over Pranay Pandey, and they were playing a singles game. He had won that too, so he's through to the next round. Grant Nell was taking on Richard Stewart in a singles game, and Richard has beaten Grant Nell, so Grant Nell is out. Barry Fenter took on Jason Davids. Easy win for him on +5. Trevor Miller, they had a team game against Steve Saunders and Jacques Grahamson, winning their game. Unfortunately, Steve had a bit of a long day. Close game between Jan and Jandre, Leon and Yapi. Then even from Jan van der Westhuizen beating George, Edwin losing out to Granville, and Werner Potgieter beating Stephen Hutter. There you go. 7-3, 8.5 to 7.5. We'll see how it all looks after Blue Valley. Now, on the side game, for interest's sake, Mr. Ryan set up an interesting little one, and I want to show you the best winning team in this 4-ball alliance. Now, the 4-ball alliance was the par 4 and par 5's 2 scored to count, and the par 3 1 scored to count. Now, look at Karuna Kuni, Barry Fenter, Oki Britt, and Nico Roots, who had won this on -18, shooting 82 points. On the first, they made 8 points, and on the fourth, they made 8 points. On the 8th, 6 points, and the 13th, 6 points. This is some decent golf, gents.
Yeah. To get an 8-point combined on a hole is not easy. So
I've never seen it.
To get 2 is phenomenal.
If any one of these guys are watching, Kruna, usually you're watching, please explain those 2 8-pointers for us so that we can see what exactly happened, because you'd both have to make birdies and stroke the hole.
Stroke the hole, yeah.
Or Oki's got a double stroke somewhere. So let us know. Well done to those guys, and thanks to Ryan for mixing it up. We'll see what's the next one. So I wanted to show you the standings for the Sunday one, but I'm going to show you last month's standings. This is last month's standings. Now, have a look at the faces. Put the faces in your mind. You know, check everybody out in the eye, see where they are in the positions, and then I'm going to put on the new leaderboard, and look how much it's changed. There's a whole host of guys out, and there's a whole host of guys in. So Wayne goes back up. Now he's leading by 4 points over Shannon Schaefer because of his good finish. Jaco van Staden has jumped into the top 10. He was, I think, 13th he's jumped in. Richard Stewart, big jump. Oki Brits was like 40th or something, and he's jumped into the top 10. But he cannot miss a game. Nicky Valengoed's dropped down to 7th. Donnie, you're up. You're in. Not 8th. And you're only 9 points back. Bobby, you've gone down. You tied with Donnie, and then Alan Lowe is still 10. He was tied 9th last time. Now he's 10th, 131. The full leaderboard will be for you to see on the website. What does it mean? Player of the season. Donnie, look at you. You've got the most points. If you have to go by points, 1,817.78. But you haven't missed a round. You play them all, which doesn't help with your average. But when the 22 games, eligible games, kick in, you are going to be right up there. I can tell you that much.
That's what I'm hoping for. That's that's the one thing. I saw it help Frikkie last year, so...
I taught you well, my partner.
There we go. There we go.
Well, you're on all the graphics, right? You're on the Thursday. You're on the two Sundays, and you're there. So maybe you're going for the Donnie Slam in the Donnie Slam sense of the word.
Let's not just get ahead of ourselves now.
Well, just carry on the way you are. Right, the Open. Well, Sunday 1 qualifiers have been done. Nobody's been yes or no'd. So this is the top 14 that did qualify. This does not include who's not available yet, because I'm going to get to that. This one. So congratulations for Sunday Series 1 qualifiers in the Duckhook GP Prinsloo Open. Donnie, you're on top with your victory. Peter van Wyk with his victory at Magalies. Frikkie Steyn is in 3rd. Sean Lawless, Jan van der Veste is in. Barry Venter, John van der Venter is in. Stefan Aretz is in. Jacob van Staden is in. Wayne Jensen is in. Jan Venter, you are in. Okkie Brits, you are in. Ashley Herman, you are in. Bobby van der Spey, you are in to the Open on the 1st of July, which is a Friday at Ipotsi. I already see 1 or 2 that might not be able to make a Friday, so the guys who are under that, you can expect a call. But now those guys have qualified in Series 1, so they're not in the other series, so you guys are happening. Cool.
Lekker.
Yep.
Blue Valley. Are we ready for Blue Valley?
I wish I was.
I think it's going to be a cold morning.
Yeah, I hope not too bad. This is the standings going into it. Yes, as I mentioned, Donnie's everywhere. He's just polluted our graphics. Donnie, he's got a 3-shot lead going into Thursday. Donnie, do you like Blue Valley?
I tend to play okay there. It's not... let's just say I like it more than PCC.
Okay, well, that's a positive thing, I guess. Jean-Louis de Toy is in 2nd, tied with Frikkie Steyn, Hansi Aman. He could change a lot if he doesn't have a good game, because he has missed one. Simon is up, tied 5th. Gerard Gerber tied 5th. Jaco Jacobs tied 5th, all on 134 points. Andre Kotze is 8th. Landon 9th. Landon, please remind me, Donnie, I need to get a picture of this guy. He can't be this silhouette his whole life. And I don't think he's going to go anywhere anytime soon in that top 10. Right, let's have a look at Blue Valley, some info. Blue Valley is Gauteng's biggest golf estate with 150 homes. Well, I remember on the player pack is a gate code. I put a gate code there. So if you didn't see it, please look. I'll go back to your WhatsApp group info, gate code. You need that. Allow yourself some extra 10 minutes to get in through the gate, please. 6,188 meters. 62 by Stuart Grehan from Ireland in 2016. The reigning winner is Grant Nell. And I don't know if it was 6 under or 5 under that he won last year at Blue Valley. Grant, or if anyone remembers, you can let us know. Let's break down the course, everybody. While we know the 1st and the 10th, so we're all teeing off next to each other, runs parallel, and we're playing onto the same greens. Now, Okkie Brits and Peter Prinsloo were telling me today that they played there yesterday, and the greens are fast, and the pins are tough. So,
good.
Here we go again. The short game, boys, where you put it on the green and how many putts you take is going to result in you finishing on top. Frikkie, how do you go about playing Blue Valley?
Look, Blue Valley to me is not that long, so you don't necessarily if you Donnie, for instance, there's not going to be a lot of tee shots with the driver. The greens is pretty big, if I can recall. So I think the guys that putts well is the guys that's going to make this. So I do think from previous times there was big minus scores. I think Grant was the biggest that I can recall of, but normally it's about -3, -4 thereabout. But yeah, I just hope that Donnie breaks the the number 2's legs, because we've got a team game next week against him, Jandre. So yeah, Donnie, just do us a favor, eh?
Okay.
Just checking, because on the top here it says there's no viewers. But that can't be, can it? The thing was just on.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? Imagine,
Hello?
all alone talking to ourselves. All right, first tee and 10th tee. Let's go through this quickly. Well, we start, it's 8 minutes past 7. We've got a couple of single matches and we've got a couple of team matches. Simon and Carl from Miller take each other on. Peter Prinsley takes on Kevin Barnes and takes on Jacobs. And then the final match of my group, Jason Ivins, Eddie Ivins take on Matthew Whittle and Russell Tandy. Whoever wins that game goes through to the next round. Are you guys checking your phones?
I did. It looked like it's still on, yes.
We're still on. Okay, cool. 10th tee. We have 2 more team matches. Lyle Langley and Adam Ford are taking on Mark Bourgel, and Coach is going to make an appearance. Hilton Butt,
Coach.
Rudy van der Vat, Leon van Alde, and Dewald van Rensburg will also be making an appearance. Right. Blue Valley. Pins. Here we go. Par 3 second. So it's right up quick over the water. Par 3 12th is also over the water. That will be the Golf Parade 100 Sports case that you can win. And then the Golf Concepts close to the pin is a par 4 9th. We all know that one. Down a hill, need a good drive. Happy?
It's a tough hole, though, eh?
Yeah, it is.
Who wants to do the groups?
I'll do groups. Let's do it.
There we go.
So, Group A, we've got Leon Creer, Mazzo there, and Leon Duplessis, Oki Brits, Jamie Sherritt. I think Leon. I'm going to put my money on Leon. Go, Leon. Sorry, Maz. And then Group B, we've got Grant L, Kyle Lowlands, Hansi Haman, Koenraad Pretorius, and Kuna. By looking at Hansi on the leaderboard there, I think Hansi can do this one. Just need to be consistent. Looks like it's his week, with winning that car. So, yeah, maybe this week, eh? Go, Hansi.
Can be anybody's week, as we know, as who rocks up on the day and plays the best golf. Red team, blue team. Peter Prinsloo is the captain. Kevin Ho is the captain because they're taking each other on. Let's see how this all goes. As you see, Ryan, Lukey's now out. He's got the vid, if you know what I mean. So he's cancelled. Get better. He's not feeling too great. Barnes, Simon, Andre, Leon, Wayne, Lyle, Mark, Hilton, all in the red team. Yaku, Carl, Donnie, John, Graham, Dylan, Adam, and Leon in the blue team.
Right. See, Donnie just missed Barend. Huh? Otherwise, it would have been a nice milkshake head to head again.
Of course, it's another bubble gum.
Live Golf. Guys, if you haven't been, it's this week that this is happening. If you've been scrolling the social media and the YouTubes and watching what it's all about, there's been some fascinating press conferences with Dustin Johnson, Louis Oosthuizen, and Graham McDowell. I can't remember the other one, but it's fascinating to hear what they say, especially with Louis Oosthuizen, because he was saying he was playing one more season, on the PGA Tour, and then he was quitting anyway. So now this comes along because he wants to play less golf, and it's condensed. It's got a lot of money. Why not? I think it's the same with Dustin Johnson. He's like, I'm tired of traveling. I'd rather just play a bit less and around the place and make some big bucks. What do you think?
Yeah, for that money, I would definitely do that. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I think also what's going to happen is you're going to start seeing more of guys that sort of outside the top 250 that's going to start entering those tournaments and start playing it. I think especially when it gets bigger, one win there can set them up for the rest of their lives. So, you can see it's like also at how many South Africans that sort of guys that's playing on the Sunshine Tour here are playing in this event. So yeah, I think it's going to grow golf. Definitely, it's going to attract those guys that's struggling to play on the tours. It's not there at the top. I think that's going to be their direction quite soon.
Formats, right? So it's a shotgun start. Everybody tees off at the same time. They all play in the same weather. There's no morning wind and then afternoon quietness. They have team events in it. It's 3 days. There's no cut. So it will be very, very interesting You can watch it on Facebook and YouTube. So let's have a watch and see what it's all about. Somebody was telling me that there's cameras on caddies and mics on players, and should be really, really interesting. Let's just do the question, because I honestly do think something's happened with this feed. The question was, I was born in 1982. I have won a major championship. My highest world ranking has been number 4. I live in Ocala, Florida. I have 14 professional wins. Yes, I did see a correct answer somewhere. Banner said Trevor Immelman. It is not Trevor Immelman. But, Louis, I think Ian Holzhausen has got it correct. It's Louis, as we were talking about Westhuizen. There we go.
I see.
He's almost 40. Wow.
Listen, I'm in 1981, so imagine now.
Yes, what do you mean?
Thanks.
Okay, boys, that's it. Let's play golf tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow, Donnie.
100%.
You have a nice
Good
evening.
luck.
And we will. I'm not sure if we are next week, because we've got a big gap to Danefern. But I'll keep you posted. Fricky, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy. Good luck for tomorrow.
Ciao.
Cheers.